It's a rainy morning. Actually getting rain that was predicted. Morning, Bella. Morning, baby. Last night we put up this easy up over her kennel. Keep the rain off, not like she cares. Hi. Hi, baby. How you doing? You okay? Oh, I know. I know. I know. It'll be over soon. It'll be over soon and you'll have the run of the place again. Yes. In the meantime, we got to keep the boys away. So today is the final end to the watermelon growing saga. We've had one last watermelon in the pantry from whenever I harvested the last watermelon. And I decided to cut it last night. I didn't have much hope for it, so it just kind of sat in the pantry. And surprise. Oh, that looks way better on camera than it does in real life. It's so pale, almost a tannish pink. It's going to the chickens. Trying to get all the feeding done while we've got a break in the rain. And later, Noah's at basketball practice, so when I go pick him up, I'm going to go to get some wood for the door of the cottage, and then probably today take advantage of being in the dry cottage and just building the door in there. You enjoying the rain, Miss Daisy? You enjoying it? Had another breakthrough with Daisy last night. I was standing here while Bella ate her food, and Daisy came up to the fence, and I put my hand out, and she kind of sniffed it, gave me a couple little licks. Then I started scratching the top of her head between her ears. But when I stopped doing it and just kind of let my hand hang in there, she did what Boomer does, which is kind of nudges the bottom of your hand to keep scratching. So that was kind of cool. I had a few questions in the last video where I showed pouring this over Bella's food. This is just a supplement that the breeder recommended. It's for hips and joints. And like I mentioned on the last video, when you have a giant dog, hips and joints are problematic area, or can be problematic. I'll leave a link to that in the video description. So I'm mixing the alfalfa with the orchard grass. She loves the orchard grass the best. In fact, she somehow picks through and eats all the orchard grass first, don't ya? So our goal is to have this pasture full of grass, and then there's also the area on the other side of the house where eventually in the distant future the Japanese garden will go. That's quite a big area for grass, also for grazing. And so the goal is to have enough grass in her diet from those two locations. The rest would be supplementing with alfalfa. The reason for that is, I know on our question and answer video, some of you asked if I was worried about Grazon, which is a herbicide that they spray on hay crops to keep the weeds out. But that Grazon is for broadleaf, and if I use her manure for our gardens, most of the things we grow are broadleaf, not grasses, right? And so anything I put that on, or manure on or in, is going to kill most of the plants that we're growing. And that lasts for 2 or 3 years in the ground. So I don't want that. They do not spray alfalfa with Grazon because alfalfa is a legume and it's broadleaf, so it would kill alfalfa. So that's the goal. All right, now everybody else is fed. I'm going to head in and have some breakfast. See what I can do on this rainy day. Well, it's the next day, New Year's Eve, actually. Yesterday, we ended up taking kind of a family day and just took it easy. I did end up getting the wood for the door on the cottage, however, so that's what I'm going to be doing right now. Actually made a little drawing here of what I want it to look like. It's going to be a Dutch door so that I can have the top open and the bottom closed to just kind of allow some air. Plus, it just kind of looks cool. It's going to be made up of 2x6s running up. So I have those right here. It's going to take 2 of them. And then on the back, to kind of hold them all together, I've got these wider pieces, and I'll have 4 strips of those running across to hold all the 2x6s together. And then my idea between the 2 doors, or on the top of the bottom door, would be a shelf, just to kind of look cool. And, you know, if anyone who lives in this cottage wants to cool their pies that they've made, they can sit it there. Several of you asked about having a door on here if Bella will not be able to come in here to be with the rabbits, to watch the chickens, and just to get out of the rain if she wants to use it for that. She can get in the backside right behind between the fence and the cottage. So that's not a problem for her. What I need to do now, and I'm sure there's some kind of math equation measurement for this, but as you know, math is not my strong point. So in order to get the right curvature at the top of the door, I think I'm just going to put some cardboard up against the back, maybe have Noah hold it there, and just kind of trace it with a pencil, cut it out, and use that as a template to cut the wood with. One of you, which I thought was a really good idea, was to make this a swinging door that goes both ways. The only problem with that is I'm not sure with this kind of door jamb, homemade, no experience door jamb, that will work. Plus with the Dutch door, it might get a little weird. So that was a good idea, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. So I've never built a door before, so here goes nothing. Hey guys, it's the next day. Actually, it's the next year. Happy New Year. It's January 1st. And yes, I have the door hanging and painted. I built the door yesterday and I hung it and painted it today, but I wanted to keep it all in the same montage because it's probably kind of a short montage. So anyway, here it is. Now, it's a little bright. It's brighter than it looked on the swatch in the store. But I can fix that. So I put this little design in here. I thought it looked kind of medieval. And there is a bit of a uneven space between the door and the molding. But that's because I'm not a professional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get like a 1/2 inch molding and just kind of run it around so it will just bridge that gap between the door and the actual door frame. As far as the color is concerned, it is the right color. It's just a bit bright, a bit strong. So what I'm gonna do is take the color of the moldings and all the little timbers there in the wall, and I'm gonna water it down, and I'm gonna do what I did on the patio cover and on the run here, and just kind of faux age it a little bit, just to take that brightness away and to age it. I don't want it to look like it was just painted. I want it to look like, you know, it's been there for quite some time. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Actually, it's still a little bit wet, so that's what I'm gonna do in a minute. While we're waiting on that to dry, and since it is New Year's Day, I wanted to talk with you about some of the things that we can all look forward to this year, 2024. And actually this morning, while I was having my coffee, I was watching the New Year's Day video from last year. And, well, that was on Next Level Gardening, but we've done so much. Like, I can't even believe it. Look at this tropical bed, how absolutely nuts it has gone. I mean, here we are in January. Last year in January, well, around January, maybe February, we had a bit of frost. We had a bit of hail, actually. And so a lot of these Monstera leaves got damaged, but you'd never know it. They put on so much growth this year. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Plans for the new year. So obviously the most important thing to get done is the pasture. We want Daisy to be able to graze, and her new friend that's coming. We want her to be able to graze, or them to be able to graze, possibly. That should give you another hint on what we're getting. Now, just a few of you guessed it in a couple videos ago when I asked you to guess what animal or animals we're bringing in to be friends for Daisy. Priority number one is the pasture. We got to get the dirt in here. We got to fill in that area with all the logs, and we're a little bit beholden to the dirt people because it's free and they bring it when they have it. So we're going to keep on them and see if we can, you know, get more regular deliveries. Something that I do have control over is the watering of the pasture when it's ready. And so that means I need to get someone out here or a few people out here to give me quotes on drilling a well. So that's all going to be handled within the first 2 to 3 weeks of January. A few more things to be done for the cottage. Oh, that door looks so cool. Look at that, it really finishes it off. But man, yeah, it's bright. Look, it's brighter than the sky. I do think the redness, the deepness of color of the poinsettias is throwing me off a bit, but it's still too bright. So the couple of things left on the cottage would be the windows, the chimney pots on top of the chimney, and I have 2 of those. Is that it? I think that's it. Back to grazing a little bit. The portion of land that's ours, that's on the other side of this fence that should never have been there. So here's the fence, and all this is ours all the way over there to all those weeds. So that's a fairly good sized area, and eventually it will be the Japanese garden. But that's, you know, at least 2 years off, probably more like 3 or 4. So in that time, I'm going to use it for grazing. It grows grass naturally, so if we can keep it watered, she can graze there. They can graze there. I had mentioned previously that trees and water were going to be a big thing, the biggest financial investment in 2024. And so that means trees to line our property over here to eventually block all that out over there. Trees for the tropical garden, so palm trees, an African tulip tree. I do want to finish this bed here by late spring. Over here in the Mediterranean vegetable garden, I got to finish these walls and the stairs. And then in the next few months, we're going to finally be breaking ground out here in the front on the new formal English garden. And that'll be all in this area here, all the way down past these stones. So I've got a lot of things to get moved out of the way so I can get Bill in here to move most of this dirt out to bring the level of this down to the level of the bottom of the house, or just slightly raised a bit. That dirt is going to all be pushed down here, which means one of the things I got to get out of the way is this fence. I'm actually going to be taking it down. I priced chain link to put where the property line actually is, way over there. And the length that we would need, I think it was 150 feet. It's like $4,000. I don't want to spend that right now. And so I'm going to just take T-posts and welded wire like I did down by the corral and just make that fence go all the way up. So it keeps Bella in, it keeps Daisy in when she's grazing over here. Then this fence can be removed. And all of this dirt is going to be moved down into that area to kind of flatten it out a little bit. And then on this side of the English garden is going to be my orchard. And I want to get this all done as soon as possible because this month is bare root month. So I can go and get the rest of my fruit trees bare root for a fraction of the cost, and they grow a lot faster. So those are the plans for 2024. Who knows what else will come up with? You know my brain. But I think it gives us enough to look forward to. Now let's go see if that door's dry. Almost, but look who I found sleeping outside the cottage. I've been getting her out of that kennel as much as possible when I'm out here. Well, actually 100% of the time I'm out here, she's out. Which means she is only in the kennel at night, which is hard for her because that's her running around time. So at night and then when we're gone. Okay, it's dry, let's do it. Well, the shadow of the roof is messing with that part of the door. Now that is much better. So now what's left is a molding hooked to the door frame. It's just about a ½ inch that'll just cover the space between the door frame and the door. And then one that goes along the bottom of this top piece that's going to cover seeing through there. I put this handle on. I bought 4 faux hinges. They're kind of black decorative hinges that are going to go 2 up here, 2 on the bottom. And then on the inside, behind the scenes, I've got this little latch, which will allow you to open just the top. Or if you hook them together, now you can open both together. This right here I haven't painted yet because I want to get some more wood filler. I ran out and I want to make this as smooth as possible and then I'll paint over it. Probably won't be able to see under there once the piece, the molding is on here, but just in case, and when it's open, I want to make sure that's all smooth. So what do you guys think? Here's a wide shot. It's the next morning and I'm loving this. I'm loving the look. I wasn't sure if I would like a door in the cottage after all this time of it being just kind of open. I thought it might look a little closed off, but I like it. So just a quick note about the YouTube Shorts versus Instagram versus TikTok. Out of all the comments, I think there were only 2 of you who wanted me to do TikTok videos, which is good because I really don't want to do TikTok videos. I don't want to be learning a whole nother platform right now. I also don't want to grow a following that is only going to like short form videos. I mean, that's not the following that I want to have because that's not the content that I enjoy making. So it's always a delicate balance when you're trying to figure out, you know, how to grow and change, but not attract those you don't want to attract and to not, you know, make anybody who's currently here upset. So going forward into January, the plan is then to keep our Tuesday, Friday schedule for long form videos. I don't yet know how many shorts will be coming out. Those will probably not have a schedule. I'll be putting out a video in a couple of days on Next Level Gardening to talk about what we're doing going forward there. We are going to be making some changes, but hopefully ones that everyone will like and that will make you happy and make me happy as well. Because ultimately, I have to get up and do this every day, and so I got to make sure it's something I enjoy. Otherwise, I think it's going to come across in the videos. So, Happy New Year, everyone. I will see you guys soon.